South 95 outside of Boeing Field, working its way out towards about the Kent Des Moines interchange. You break free once you get past 260th, but you're right back into some slowing from 320th now all the way out and past the Tacoma Dome. Speaking of, we had some earlier reports of a crash on North on 5 near the near the Tacoma Mall. That looks like it's cleared. However, there is a little bit of a residual backup around that area. You're looking at the Valley Freeway to be slow from after Highway 18 into parts of Algona Pacific and working your way towards that 410 512 interchange. Hearing from our Ron and Don Nation at 98973 saying, hey, Highway 3 has been a little challenging all afternoon. I checked with DOT. They say, well, no, nothing reported to be blocking. However, we've got a couple of new stalls that have popped up, one of which is northbound 5 near Bridgeport, and the other one that's on southbound 405 on the on-ramp from Northeast 8. Traffic is brought to you by Domino's. Is more than just great pizza. Mix it up with an order of their specialty chicken, marble cookie brownie, or bread twist. KIRO Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Tracy Taylor.
Winds through this evening, gusting over 30 miles an hour in many spots. Into tomorrow, still blustery. Morning temperatures start off with rain in the 40s, highs with showers in the afternoon in the 50s. I'm KIRO 7 Chief Meteorologist Morgan Palmer.
It's 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
From Spanaway to Sunset Hill, this is KIRO Radio 97.3 FM.
News and talk, powered by the Pacific Northwest.
Ring My Bell is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino, the biggest and best in the Northwest.
You can ring my bell, Rachel Bell. You can ring my bell, Rachel Bell.
You can watch us right now on Facebook Live. But right now, Rachel Bell is here. Rachel Bell, what is ringing your bell?
Pretty paper, pretty ribbons of blue.
Now, this may not be the most pressing story of the day, but it's something that I really, really relate to. So the story is about how Americans are obsessed with using paper towels. Now, don't turn your radio off. I know my opening stories about paper towels, but I am KIRO's. I've self-appointed myself as KIRO's top environmentalist. Mostly that means that I bug people and make them feel bad and guilty about using too many paper cups. Yep, G's raising his hand over there. He is guilty as charged. So the United States, people in the United States spend more money on paper towels than literally every other country in the world combined. We are obsessed with using paper towels, and part of the reason for that is that we have money to do it, because in other countries they use things like a rag, a mop, a broom. We just have this, like, we'll just throw it away, get something new. But the other thing is that we like things very clean, very fast. It's like an instant gratification that you can't always get if you have to get up and rinse out a rag. You just get another paper towel. And this, to me, I try, my goal is to buy one roll of paper towels a year. But when my mom comes to visit, we get in fights over it. She gets mad. I'm like, nope. You can't, like, she's like, can I just have, no, you can't have one. And she gets really angry with me because I won't give her paper towels.
I'm not taking all the blame for this. Costco's got to be part of the blame. I was all good until I walked into that store and found out how much you can get. Did you just say one per year? One roll a year?
I try. Since I've had a cat, I'm up to 2 rolls, but I try to keep it low. I try not to use them.
How big is that roll?
I buy, like, the cheapest one from Fred Meyer.
That's thin. That's thin. Trust
yeah, it's
me.
not that good.
Like, yeah.
I mostly only use it in cases that I have to, like when I'm frying food, and so you need to put, like if I'm making latkes, you put it. But for cleaning, I really try not to use them.
How about in the microwave? Like anytime I get ready to microwave food, I go ahead and I wet things down. No, I got to put it on top. Put it on top of the food.
There's a thing you could buy, or you could just use like a cutting board or something. You could put something else on top.
Rachel Bell, I've already got you in my head when it comes to the plastic cups. I don't need you in my head for paper towels.
That's why I'm here. I'm trying to save the world one paper towel at a time.
The day the music died.
This story comes from The Stranger. So music festivals around the country are not doing great. They have seen their attendance drop in recent years. If you hadn't heard, Sasquatch, that is at the Gorge every year. They've been there for 17 years. They announced that they are done. They are not doing any more music festivals. The Pemberton Music Festival, that's near Whistler, BC, they used to have about 180,000 people who would go to their festival, but they went bankrupt in 2017. They're shutting down, and I guess attendance is low across the country. And Bumbershoot is amongst those festivals that have had low numbers. I was really surprised to read that there were almost half as many attendants in what year is it? in 2018 as there were in 2015. So almost cut in half in just 3 years. And part of that might be because it's expensive now. So a few years ago, AEG took over and the price went from like $40-50 to $130 a day. They say they're not making any money on it. It's just what it costs now to get big acts. Since musicians are not making money elsewhere because of Spotify, they need to make their money in concert tickets. And also they say that they have to provide more security staff because of the state of the world and shootings.
When was the last time you went to Bumbershoot?
Honestly, I've never paid to go to Bumbershoot. I've always gone on free media passes, but I went maybe like 3 years ago was the last time. What about you?
Yeah, no, it's been a while. Ever since they stopped making it a hybrid of free and relatively inexpensive tickets, which was in the early 2000s. At that point, once it started getting super expensive, my interest started to. And also, I'm not a big festival person much anymore. I've just got older, and so I kind of like going to the Showbox or something like that. That's about my ideal size for a venue. Bumbershoot feels a little bit heavy.
When I first moved here, I went to Bumbershoot every year.
Hold on, say that again. What is it called?
Bumbershoot.
Okay, I was checking. I thought I heard a bumper shoot, which is a thing of that Seattle.
I mean, you could have.
Okay.
It could have.
Just checking.
Just depending on how fast I was going
Okay.
with the
It's just one of those
conversation.
things that Seattle locals, they get their little panties in a bunch about. Just want to make sure.
So Bumbershoot. But no, I've noticed my increasingly attendance to other festivals, the local festivals that are happening around the West Seattle festivals and all the little Ballards and all those things. I've noticed that I would rather go to those now. They seem more intimate and a little bit better. Even though it's not the concert that you get at Bumbershoot, I still like these little festivals. And I wonder if it's been the increase in that, because that's been happening a lot over the last few years. A lot of people going, taking their families, and it's cheaper, and you're having more fun.
There's a different way to look at it, which is maybe it's better to go to Bumbershoot now because there are less people. And so that's like, for me, I'm with you. I used to be big into festivals in high school. I would go to like Lollapalooza.
Right.
I would never go
Horde,
now.
whatever,
There's
yeah.
no way.
No.
So maybe if there's half as many people, maybe it's more appealing and maybe the numbers will go back up. The Boy Scouts of America may be filing for bankruptcy. That's what the Wall Street Journal is talking about. They've been spending so much money on legal costs to defend themselves against lawsuits alleging sexual abuse of boys that just like the Catholic Church, they are running out of money. They hired a law firm that made a statement that said, "We are working with experts to explore all options available to ensure that the local and national programming of the Boy Scouts continues uninterrupted." So as of now, nothing is changing. But I mean, let's see, there are 1.26 million Cub Scouts, 830,000 Boy Scouts, 960,000 adult volunteers. If this thing goes down, that's a lot of scoutless people out there.
And weren't they also recently making a move to have girls in the Boy Scouts,
Yes.
which got them in a
Yes.
dispute with the Girl
With
Scouts,
the Girl
correct?
Scouts.
Yeah.
That's right. And there was something else. Yeah, I think the Girl Scouts might have sued them.
I think
for
they did.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
More legal costs.
More legal costs, but they did open up the Boy Scout leader membership to openly gay adults and finally allowed transgender boys in. But who knows, now that, they're saying that they're going to go bankrupt, maybe they did all these things scrambling to try to get new members to try to save themselves.
And it may not work.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for those that I got a bunch of friends that were Boy Scouts. I never did it. I think I was too busy doing other things. But it's heartbreaking for those that volunteer, and they've done such a good service for young boys. And then that's just hurtful to hear. It's hurtful to hear any time there's lawsuits, Catholic Church, any of those type of things. But man, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, these are places that are like these big cornerstones in American society, like going to church, going to the Boy Scouts. And I mean, Boy Scouts has been in trouble.
It became a metaphor by referring to somebody who was like, a straight arrow as a Boy Scout, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that much a part of American culture, and to see it sort of maybe going away as a part of history is too bad.
Can you explain bankruptcy to me, just in the way, maybe this is a dumb question, like if they file for bankruptcy, does that automatically mean that it's done?
No, it means that they're probably reorganizing their finances. It could well mean that they actually end up coming out of it much healthier. I mean, this has actually happened to major automakers, and they've come out of it. So this could be just a financial reorganization or a way to sort of relieve some of their debt load.
He used to meet me on the east side in the city where the sun don't set. And every day, where we ride through the back street.
we're going to stop that, and we're going to go to traffic. I forgot that we're coming back out of this, and I'm like burning through stories. We got to save something for the other side.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. What kind of story do you have coming up next, though?
We're going to check in with Gene Balk, the FYI guy from the Seattle Times, to talk about how much more diverse this region has been and what the new most diverse place is.
All right, stick around with that for Ring My Bell. Right now, let's go traffic. Emerald Queen Casino. Tracy, what do you got?
So DOT says they've cleared that stall on the ramp southbound 405 to Northeast 8th in Bellevue. So that's good news there. However, there is still a wreck on North 95 out near Bridgeport. That's causing some problems. All right, let's look at the rest of the drive because it is a little on the challenging side. If you're trying to go eastbound on I-90, coming off of Mercer Island, getting up to the 405 merge. I'm looking at a lineup northbound to 405 at 25 and working its way out towards and past the 522 interchange. As a matter of fact, we're looking at 70 minutes from Bellevue to Everett. Our Federal Way to Tacoma drive is ramped up. We're at about 46 minutes there, and you're still going to find the drive on the Valley Freeway to be a little on the slower side between Valley Medical Center and heading out to 277. Take a look at Highway 18 because it's pretty much slammed on both directions between I-5 and 167. I'll tell you why coming up here in 10 minutes. Traffic brought to you by Emerald Queen Casino. Come party with Kool and the Gang January 26th. Get your tickets today to celebrate with Funk Masters, Kool and the Gang, only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Tracy Taylor.
It's coming. Viaduct. 25 days. The viaduct closure. It starts the night of Friday, January 11th. What are the best alternate routes? Specific days and times to avoid. Let KIRO Radio help you navigate Viaduct. Insight and analysis from our dedicated traffic reporters, Chris Sullivan.
Southbound I-5 slowing, getting out of downtown.
And Tracy Taylor.
Bumper-to-bumper drive through the downtown corridor.
KIRO Radio 97.3 FM. News and talk. Powered by the Pacific Northwest.
Hey guys, not only here, are you starting to lose your hair, or maybe you lost it years ago? And as you can see, and so can everyone else, hair loss can make you look older, affect your physical appearance, and how others perceive you. So guys, the advanced FUE treatment, it is here. It's an incredible work for your own natural growing hair, and it grows in over a period of months and continues for a lifetime. It's a simple one-day affordable treatment, so schedule your no-cost consultation right now. Dial 425-449-8185. Look at the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Northwest Mini in Tacoma has been honored with the Seattle Business Magazine's 2018 Family Business Award. Get what you want for the holidays. Right now, Northwest Mini in Tacoma has a great selection of new and certified pre-owned models for you to choose from. All new Mini models come with complimentary scheduled Mini maintenance, and every certified pre-owned Mini comes with a Mini CPO limited warranty. So test drive a newer certified pre-owned Mini that's right for you during the Mini Getaway Sales Event. Only at Northwest Mini in Tacoma. Seattle Business Magazine Family Business Award winner. Visit Northwest Mini in Tacoma or northwestmini.com for details.
When the deadline clock is ticking, an unreliable network can cost your business money. That's why you need Comcast Business. Our gig speed network is fast, and we go beyond fast with the complete reliability of 4G LTE backup, which means that even if something like construction accidentally knocks out the power, you can still upload that big presentation, email important clients, invoice customers, and not take a hit to your company's bottom line. For a limited time, switch to Comcast Business and get an amazing deal. Get fast, reliable internet at any speed and add voice for only $24.95 more per month for 2 years. Just one more way Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 12/31/18. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Limited to one voice line and available only to new Comcast Business customers. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Connection Pro backup limited to up to 6 hours and requires Comcast Business Internet.
A failing foundation can be catastrophic to a home structure. Warning signs that your foundation may be settling include bowed or cracked walls, sloping floors, a leaning chimney, doors or windows that won't close properly, and cracks in your foundation. It's important to act quickly before more damage occurs, and to call a company that can assess the underlying issue. Structural and geotechnical engineers know it takes the right equipment and expertise to safely raise and restore any foundation, which is why time and time again, they choose R&R Foundation Specialist. R&R Foundation Specialist raises and restores foundations by repositioning the load of a home onto steel piers that are driven deep beneath the earth. Then, we gently lift it back into place with a hydraulic. It's the permanent solution for settling foundations. Learn why engineers choose R&R Foundation Specialists to raise and restore foundations. Call 425-800-0125 or click rrfoundationspecialist.com. That's rrfoundationspecialist.com.
How much do you need to save for retirement? Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, founder of Edelman Financial Engines. The question's simple, but the calculation can be complex. How much you need to save for retirement depends on how much income you want, what outside sources you'll have, like Social Security and pensions. And here's the good news. You don't have to guess. We can give you the answer. For more than 32 years, we've shown people just like you how much you need to save for retirement and how to invest it. And now's your chance. Call us for the personal financial advice and investment management services you need with local offices to serve you. At Edelman Financial Engines, we're happy to help you whether you have a little to invest or a lot or anything in between. Come see why thousands of folks just like you rely on Edelman Financial Engines. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
He used to meet me on the east side, in the city where the sun don't set. And every day, you know where we ride through the back streets in a blue Corvette.
Welcome back to Ring My Bell. Checking in with Gene Balk, the FYI guy at the Seattle Times. Originally, I thought he was the DIY guy. It makes a lot more sense that he's the FYI guy because he tells us stuff about our region. And today he's telling us that King County has become a much more diverse place than it used to be. In 1990, which was not that long ago, King County's population was about 85% white. And then it started to diversify. So by 2010, there were places like Kent, Renton, SeaTac, and Tukwila where people of color made up the majority. And so this story is about how the East Side is finally catching up. The East Side is now more diverse than Seattle is, at least when you're talking about Bellevue, and Redding is close behind. So it's because of places like Microsoft and Nintendo that are hiring a lot of people who were not born here, and a lot of them are coming from Asia. So the population in Bellevue increased the Asian population by 70%. A third of the population is Asian now. And yeah, they said, oops, I just skipped up here, that Seattle is still trailing behind the East Side.
When I saw that in 1973, 98% of Redmond was white.
Yeah.
And here today, 52% of Redmond is white, with over 40% of people of color being out there in Redmond. I would have lost a bet if somebody would have said that there are more percentage of those being white in Seattle than Redmond. I would have lost a bet, seriously.
It's interesting in all over the country. You're finding that the urban centers, which have historically been perceived as these, melting pots of people, are in fact not. They're getting, as they get more expensive, they're getting less diverse. This is true in San Francisco.
Exactly.
This is true in Los Angeles. It's true in Boston. It's true in New York City. And it's absolutely true in Seattle. Seattle has never been a tremendously diverse city to begin with. And it's even less so now than it was, 5 years ago, because it's a lot of people, particularly folks in the Central District, have been forced south and out of town.
Exactly. And yeah, Redmond, I thought this was very interesting. Redmond has the highest percentage of working residents who are employed in computer and math jobs, more than any of the towns in Silicon Valley, any more than those cities. So this is where if you have a math problem you need solved, go to Redmond. These people are smart.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about that, the diversity question on the East Side, is that if you look at it's not just Redmond. I mean, Bellevue is getting more so. The whole swath of towns on that side of Lake Washington are actually getting much more diverse. Seattle is not, but the thinking is that it's eventually going to start arriving in Seattle as well.
When I first moved here in 1999, and the first time I was over in Bellevue, I was on Main Street. It felt like the way Main Street kind of looks now. It felt like Bellevue, the entire Bellevue. Everything looked just like Main Street, whereas today it's kind of different over there today. Of 20 years later, it's a lot different. Love going over to Bellevue, but the first time I went to Bellevue, I was like, oh man, being from Chicago, it feels different over here.
And what people who do demographics will tell you frequently is that there is a link between economic diversity and racial diversity.
Right.
In that when you have a city that becomes more polarized of an economy, Seattle, let's use that as an example, you find that your actual racial diversity drops as your economic diversity drops. As there's fewer strata for people to actually live in a town, then it changes.
On a less important note, but more important for what concerns me, the thing that I love about these things diversifying is the restaurant scene. It changes so much. And there's a lot of people in Seattle who are very lazy about going over to the east side and act like it's so far away, but it's really not, depending on where you live in the city. You just have to cross the bridge. But there are so many good Chinese restaurants in Bellevue, and the kind of restaurants that are hard to find in Seattle. I think that the Asian food, or specifically the Chinese food in Bellevue and Redmond, is better than in Seattle.
First time I ever had pho was in Bellevue. I had never had pho before. I keep hearing about all the pho, and I wasn't feeling well, so I said, hey, go get you some pho. I went over to Bellevue, and oh, man.
It's actually, you raise a really good point, at least in terms of restaurant and restaurant quality and the originality of restaurants. The east side is all over the Seattle. I mean, Seattle, a lot. If you have a ton of money, if you happen to be named Tom Douglas, then you can open up a restaurant at will. But actually, much of the most interesting stuff is happening on the east side anymore. It's not happening in Seattle because it's just too expensive to open up a place here.
You can ring my bell, Rachel Bell.
Traffic coming up, brought to you by Budget Batteries. Tracy?
So I was just taking a look to see if there's been any updates on the Port Townsend-Coopville ferry run. The Kennewick is still about 20 minutes behind schedule because of an earlier stalled vehicle that was on board. We are looking at a busy